I'm Jeff Johnson, and of course with me today is my mother, Rebecca Johnson. And today we're going to be finishing off the week of creation, talking about the creation of all the animals.
Yes.
It'll be a very fun week, I think. So we'll get right into this.
Yes. Okay, so we've had day 1, where God created the foundational items. Day 2, He separated the water from the water.
Yep.
Day 3, we had the plants.
All the dry land.
Then day 4, we had the sun, moon, and stars. So we are on the 5th day of creation, and this is a fun one too.
Yep.
Genesis 1:20 to 23 is day 5.
God said, "Let the waters bring forth abundantly the moving creature that hath life, and fowl that may fly above the earth in the open firmament of heaven. And God created great whales, and every living creature that moveth, which the waters brought forth abundantly after their kind, and every winged fowl after his kind. And God saw that it was good. And God blessed them, saying, Be fruitful and multiply, and fill the waters and the seas, and let fowl multiply in the earth, in the evening and the morning, were the 5th day."
This is a great day. So God's filling the seas and the air.
Yep.
So one thing that I want us to focus on, we think of this, and we do, we think about the whales and sea turtles and the coral reef, and we think about parrots, and we think about, flamingos and different things. But what we often fail to understand was that on day 5, as well as day 6, which we'll talk about in a minute, God also created the dinosaurs.
Dinosaurs!
Dinosaurs.
Everybody loves them.
Yes, everybody loves a dinosaur, but I have found that even as we've talked through the years with Christians, most Christians don't realize that God created the dinosaurs.
Yeah, they don't connect that. Yeah.
It is amazing how a Christian can look at me and be like, no, I believe that God created everything. I believe the earth was 6,000 years old. And then you look at them and say, and dinosaurs. And a puzzled look comes across their face, and they look at you and go, well, dinosaurs are billions of years old. So a problem has arisen in our connection.
Yep.
God created a dinosaur that he spoke about in the Bible.
2.
Well, on day 5, he created one, the Leviathan.
Yes.
Yes. So day 5, Job 41, talks about the Leviathan, which is so super cool.
The Leviathan's awesome.
And the description, if you have a chance,
go read that.
Go read that in Job. You are going to love the description of a Leviathan. I mean, what an amazing thing. And and this is something we'll talk about in further episodes and programming. Dinosaurs are probably still alive in certain places of the earth, and one of those that could very possibly still be alive is the Leviathan. And we'll talk about that a little bit later, which is really exciting.
Yes.
But other water or land, or I'm sorry, bird.
Yeah. So,
dinosaurs.
So sea-wise, the most commonly known are the plesiosaurus, and of course the Leviathan, and then the mosasaurus.
Oh yes.
The mosasaurus, plesiosaurus, mosasaurus, kind of. I think they're in the same family. I'm not big on my sea dinosaur history, but we do have all these different things, and there's a lot of all the extinct sea animals and whatnot, all created in that day. And then, of course, in the air you have the very famous pterodactyl.
Yes, really cool.
And the pteranodon, and so many others, and just massive birds that just boggle the mind sometimes.
Yes, which we could see.
They were all created that day.
Yes. So don't let dinosaurs scare you. We're going to talk a little bit more about that here in a minute. Don't let the word dinosaur scare you. Don't let the idea of dinosaurs scare you. God created them in the original creation, the 6 days of creation.
And the word dinosaur is a very modern word.
Yes, it is.
Before that, we would refer to them as dragons.
Exactly.
And then an archaeologist found the bone and whatever.
Yeah, Sir Richard
came up.
Owen in 1841 is the one that invented the word dinosaur.
But before that, they were always known as dragons, and you get a lot of myths about dragons. And I believe those are at least a great majority of them, Beowulf, Sir
Yes,
George,
oh, I love that.
all these different stories, they are based in reality.
Yeah, they are.
And hopefully we'll be able to get to some of these stories
Yes.
and show you these aren't fictional. They're
Historical fiction.
yeah.
It's a historical fiction based on fact with a
It's
little flowering
it's
thrown
essentially a big fish story, you
in.
know.
Yeah.
They'll explain their
yes.
and then they'll magnify it, make it so much more than it was, but in the core of it, they were these different dinosaurs.
Yes. This leads us, to the sixth day of creation. Let's talk about it. Read Genesis 1:24 and 25.
Yep. And God said, "Let the earth bring forth the living creature after his kind, cattle and creeping thing, and beast of the earth after his kind. And it was so. And God made the beast of the earth after his kind, and cattle after their kind, and every thing that creepeth upon the earth after his kind. And God saw that it was good."
So we're getting all those land animals. Couple things that we're going to note here. First of all, again, this is where Behemoth was created from Job chapter 40, another amazing passage. And Behemoth was more than likely the word has slipped to my mind. Oh,
Mine
my goodness.
Too. The big long neck ones.
Yes.
A
sauropod.
Sauropods.
Sorry, just flew out of my head. He was a sauropod. So this idea that dinosaurs live separate from us is absolute fiction.
Yep.
Okay? It is not true. Dinosaurs lived with us, and there is so much evidence for this. And I'm going to tell you this, there's evidence for this after the flood.
Yeah.
So we had dinosaurs even after the flood. So not even the flood wiped them out, guys, okay? We'll talk a little bit more past the flood, what happened. But he mentioned, and it is true, most of our confusion lies in the word dinosaur because it is not in ancient texts.
Oh.
And he's right. It's not. Because the word was invented in 1841 by Sir Richard Owen, who was the one who found
and it was almost fossils. Immediately incorporated into evolutionism, and just evolution and took that and just ran as far as I could with it. And so the word dinosaur has, since its inception, constantly been associated with evolutionism.
Right. But when you think about dragon, there's so much written about dragons. There's so many dragons portrayed on buildings,
you
portrayed
see
in
that
tapestries.
Also, the Chinese had it as one of their the Chinese years or whatever.
Yeah, the year of the dragon.
They have the year of the dragon, and when you look at that, and they have all these other known animals, and it's like dragon, and I think that just goes mythical. To prove they have that.
Let's talk a little bit about, now that we've established the fact that God created dinosaurs on days 5 and day 6. One thing we've also misunderstood was their food diet.
Yes.
When you think of a dinosaur or a lion or anything that is a carnivore in our mind, once a carnivore, always a carnivore, except it wasn't.
Yep. God
did not create the earth with violence, which would be the death of other animals at the hand of one animal to another animal to eat. That is not how the perfect creation was. Originally, animals were vegetarians.
Yep. So we see that in Genesis 1, verse 30. "And every beast of the earth, and every fowl of the air, and everything that creepeth upon the earth, wherein there is life, I have given every green herb for meat. And it was so. And God saw everything that he had made, and behold, it was very good. And the evening and the morning were the 6th day." And then you can see the change after the flood in Genesis 9. And we'll talk more about that when we get there. But it says, "And the fear of you and the dread of you shall be upon every beast of the earth, upon every fowl of the air, upon all that moveth upon the earth, and upon all the fishes of the sea. Into your hand are they delivered. Every moving thing that liveth shall be meat for you, even as the green herb have I given you all these things." So you see that shift between vegetarianism to carnivores in many animals after the flood.
And that's going to be important to remember as we come up to the flood, as Noah is preparing.
Yep.
Because that's going to be a key thing. And it's something to keep in mind about the earth before the flood.
Mm-hmm.
When we talk about what was the earth like before the flood, do you understand that Adam and Eve at that time were vegetarians? I'm not necessarily promoting a vegetarian lifestyle today, because we're going to see that the curse is going to change things.
Yeah.
But that is how they were. So literally everything. The sea creatures would eat kelp. They would eat plants. Birds would all eat the seeds. It wouldn't be them eating. There weren't any carnivorous.
And you can see remnants of that. Most carnivorous animals
Yes.
do eat still plants and whatnot, grass and stuff.
Right.
For various reasons. Obviously, it's not usually their main diet, but they do eat it for health reasons. Especially, you see the bear just gouge himself on all kinds of berries and stuff to hibernate and stuff. So there's still remnants of that, and there was an obvious change after the flood, but they were definitely vegetarians beforehand.
So that is how could people and humans and dinosaurs live together? Well, keep in mind your T-Rex was not a carnivore at the time.
You could have easily had a T-Rex pet.
Yes.
Which would
think
have
about
been
fun. That. Honestly, when we think about it, the Flintstones were probably more correct than we realize.
Yeah.
Obviously, we don't believe in cavemen, but we'll discuss that as well a little bit in the future here too. But this idea of animals, of us using dinosaurs. There's an opening scene in the Flintstones, which I used to watch a lot when I was a child, where Fred is at work and he's using the dinosaur to move the rocks. Quite frankly, they could have used dinosaurs for quite a lot of work as work horses, like we would use horses today. Or
and I think
oxen.
we see some evidence of that even after the
flood. Absolutely.
And we'll get to that, but there is some evidence that they were using dinosaurs as workhorses and stuff like that. So
this is fun stuff. But day 6 isn't done. We're going to come back around to this because there's so much to talk about on the second half of what he did on day 6. Yeah. Day 6 was an amazingly full day for God.
It was.
He did a whole lot of work.
It was his fullest.
And it was his masterpiece day. And we haven't hit the masterpiece.
Which is something interesting to think about, because today we talk about all these different animals, and then last week we talked about all the plants and all the sun, moon, stars, and all this kind of stuff, and just the beauty of it.
Yes.
And the majesty, and really the beauty in all of it was designed to please us, and they were all designed in a specific way and set up so perfectly, and everybody can find something that they love in the world.
Yes.
Many people love to look at the stars in a nice clear night.
Your brother.
Yes, my brother. You just see that Milky Way, and other people love the trees or the animals or different things about it. Sunsets, sunrises, all these different things, and you look at all that, and that wasn't his end goal. Right. That was just the backdrop.
The fluff, the extra.
Yeah. Which is incredible.
It really is. When you think about what God is capable of creating, and this was literally just speaking, and God said, and it was so, and it was good, which is a great lesson right there. And God said, and it was so, and it was good.
Yep.
If we would do what God said, it would be a good thing.
Yeah.
And that's also built throughout creation. So these are great lessons to learn from our very first day of creation. God built in Christianity. He built in a lot of life lessons for us. We're going to learn about a huge life lesson in our next episode. And but dinosaurs, if you are confused about dinosaurs, if this is a new thing, and it really honestly could be a very new concept to you, that dinosaurs and humans lived at the same time, that God created them on day 5 and day 6 of creation 6,000 years ago. Remember, we calculated in our first episode how we got the age of the earth. And we know it's 6,000 years. Don't let the word dinosaur throw you.
Mm-hmm.
But if you do have questions, again, I would really point you to Answers in Genesis.
Yeah, they got some good stuff there.
Amazing books on this subject for every age category. Maybe this is something you realize your children are learning wrong. They have great books for kids. They have really amazing work on this. So I would really point you to Answers in Genesis, or to the Institute for Creation Research. Again, some really great work.
Yep.
Ken Ham has some programming on this.
Yes, he does.
You can look up Ken
He's
Ham's
very,
programs on this.
very hardcore
Very firm
about
on
this.
this one. We really highly recommend you go and research more into this. Read about this.
Mm-hmm.
Because you really need to be firm. I think that Satan has used the tool of dinosaurs
More than anything, to kind of push evolution.
Oh yeah, to promote evolution to the smallest child, because there is not a kid out there that doesn't love a dinosaur.
Mm-hmm.
We are all fascinated by it, so Satan knows this, and he's using this to destroy our Christianity, to put doubt in the mind of our children.
Yep.
And if we don't come in with an answer, who are they going to believe?
Yeah.
Someone who claims to be a big scientist who knows things, and there's no reason for them to believe it. We need to really shore up our children in this. It's super important.
Especially this area, I think, it's very lacking.
Yes.
In the modern day.
Help yourself, help your family defend the faith in this area, primarily concerning these dinosaurs. So that's a real big takeaway.
Yep.
God did create everything on the creation week.
Yeah.
And when I say everything, I mean everything. This would include the angels, guys. So we don't know exactly what day, but God created everything in the creation week.
Yep.
So don't let Satan throw in this idea. Okay, fine, we'll let you believe he created everything 6,000 years ago, but when it comes to dinosaurs, they didn't live with humans. They roamed the earth billions of years ago.
Yep.
They got wiped out by we don't know what, but don't buy into the lie. Don't let Satan win this battle with your family, with yourself personally, or with your children. And get the resources you need in your home. I really highly recommend that. Get books in your home on this subject.
Yeah. Yep.
Because
Definitely.
kids,
Christian.
Yeah. Yes. And Answers in Genesis, that's where you need to go. They have a great bookstore. Get in there and check it out. And get some stuff for your kids, grandkids, nieces and nephews. Fill our homes with some good stuff that really, really firms up this fact. Dinosaurs were created on day 5 and day 6, 6,000 years ago.
All right. Join us next week. We're going to be talking about the creation of mankind and the importance of that. And if you have any questions about this episode or any other that we've aired, don't hesitate. Email us at thebibleandhistory@gmail.com. We'd love to answer any questions you have there.